Well, I forgot my remote, and so I just have the camera. I press the record button on the top. Apparently that works. It is a little bit afternoon, probably about 12:20, 12:30. I forgot to record the time before I left. But that is for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's been raining a lot. This is the first chance I've had to take a walk in a while. And I need to walk, unfortunately. Whether or not I want to walk is not all that important. On those 2 nights that I could not go out on my walk because it was raining, gotta catch my breath first. Oddly enough, my outdoor voice is a very quiet, non-projecting voice that is not intended to really travel much further than the camera. And that takes a lot of breath modulation and climbing up a hill and trying to modulate my breath so that I don't project is actually quite difficult. And of course I'm modulating as best I can so that I can talk quietly without whispering, because it being daylight, I'm afraid that everyone's going to look at me and think I'm a lunatic because I'm talking to myself while carrying a piece of red plastic in my hand. Traditionally, neither of these are sane behaviors. Traditionally. Times have changed. Admitted. I mean, people walk along the sidewalk talking to themselves by holding a piece of metal and plastic to the side of their head. But this one, I don't even have that. I'm just talking to myself. A piece of red plastic. I can't even pretend it's a phone call, because it's a camera. But on those 2 nights that I could not go walking, those were some of the worst nights and days I've had, because I was not able to work my legs. I had to take much more methadone than even I normally take. I'm supposed to take 20 milligrams a day. I had to take more than that. Not much more, because I'm still alive. But I am supposed to take 1 milligram of ropinirole. It's a Parkinson's medication that has also been shown to work miracles for people with restless leg. Unfortunately, by itself it does not work. I have to couple it with methadone. Usually, the bare minimum threshold is 20 milligrams during a 24-hour period to keep my blood serum up high enough so that when I take the ropinirole, it works. Sadly, I had to take about 3 milligrams of ropinirole on top of the methadone, and even at that, the anxiety was so bad I was pacing my room like a caged bear, because I could not sit down. I could barely stand. And in fact, at one point, I did have to go out for a walk. It was horrifying, because I could not sit. I could not stand in place because of the anxiety and pain. I could barely take walking. The anxiety, pain, and horrible feeling of restless leg wouldn't go away even while walking. It was horrifying. So even if it's going to rain, I've got my brolly. You know, I'm taking a risk using this camera with no waterproofing, but it's a nice little camera, and I appreciate very, very much the thought and the gift from the subscriber who sent it to me. I am extremely appreciative. Do not get me wrong. I mean, hokey smokes, I was never able to make any of these before. But now, I walk around all the time with the camera. It's really fun, I enjoy it. Even though, as stated, I look like a lunatic walking around and talking to a piece of red plastic in my hand. Such is life. Such is life. Now, when I come back, this is the second half. It's going to be quite interesting. Because my friends just showed up. And in fact, they just showed up, and then we all quickly had a quick dab of like 90% THC oil. And then they headed out again. But they're not going to be gone long. They're going a relatively short distance. They're going to go pick up the 2 male guinea piggies with a cage and playpen and other such stuff for them. And it's going to be awesome. I mean, I will never, ever, ever stop loving hamsters. I mean, the hamster is my totem animal. It is my spirit guide through a sacred vision quest. And I am not making fun of any cultures or anything like that. I am quite serious. On a sacred vision quest, I met up with my totem animal and spirit guide, and it is the hamster. So I can never turn my back on that, and I never will. Just looking at a hamster and my heart melts. And now I look at a guinea pig and I'm happy, but my heart doesn't melt. If you compare a guinea pig to a hamster, there's just no comparison. The hamster wins not just 1, but 2 hands down. They're just too cute and awesome for words. I have 2 minor issues with guinea pigs, and it's all purely cosmetic. The one thing is they don't have a tail at all. There's no tail on a guinea pig, and that's weird. I mean, it doesn't bug me, it's just weird. I don't like long mouse tails or rat tails or anything like that. That part of an animal isn't really all that thrilling. So that's why I like hamsters with their little pink stub of a tail. Because they're just a little pink stub. That's all they need, just a cute little stub of a tail. They don't need a long, hairless rat tail or anything like that. Just a perfect little nub. But guinea piggies don't even have that. Their backs are just rounded. Their pelvis tucks under, and they don't have any tails or nubs or anything. They're like people. Just a little process at the bottom of their spines and nothing else. It's kind of cool. And yet, I like tails on animals, so I don't know. Just not huge, disgusting ones. And then, the other thing, this is the one that actually bugs me about guinea pigs. And it doesn't really bug me, it's just a cuteness thing. They're not as cute. Their heads are too big for their bodies. But that's okay too. I mean, they are just absolutely beautiful anyway. I mean, I'm not putting them down. That's just, I think their heads are too big for their bodies. And their bodies are weird shaped too. Because as they get bigger, they look like eggplants. Especially if they're pregnant, they really look like eggplants. It's really funny. Well, I'm just about at 10 minutes, so I'm going to cut this one for a time and possibly medicate, so I'll see you soon. Oh, well. Okie dokie. I have finished coming from up there. I'm down here. I'll walk out of the street before doing that again. I walked from up there. That's where the stream is that I normally pass to get downtown, and here's the corner I turn on. take me that far to walk. I was enjoying a pre-rolled cigarette, for I would never, ever, ever do anything, nor would I ever suggest anybody do anything like flaunt the law and smoke a pre-roll in public during the daylight hours. That's just asking for trouble. It's not legal, and you should never do it. It was pretty good. I really liked that. It was 70 to 80% THC. It was just a half gram or so, and it was too expensive for a half gram of no matter what. I mean, it was like $10 for a half gram thing. But it was infused with live rosin, which is why it was 70 to 80% THC. My pre-rolled tobacco cigarette, since I would never do anything illegal. I don't even jaywalk. Not that I would admit to that. I mean, if that's the only crime I commit, then that's good. Jaywalking, I don't mind that. They can take away my freedoms, but don't take away my jaywalking. Well, it's windy out here. It's going to sound like hell. Shuckle my duckle. Yeah. Warning.
Yellow lights are flashing.
Yeah, there they are. Can you see them flashing? It looks so different during the daytime. There's people and things and life. I don't like it. It's terrible. I want it to be all dark and lonely again, the way it should be. That's the way it's supposed to be, isn't it? Oh, I'm yelling. Boy, my pre-rolled tobacco cigarette sort of went to my head there, didn't it? I'm over here yelling to myself like a fool. Oh, well. Still wish I had a gyroscope. But here comes someone, so because I'm a nice guy,